This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students, I'm Dr. Divya from TeenEinstein. Now we are in the third class of second chapter, biological classification. So you know that in this chapter we are learning about the five kingdom classification. Mainly we are learning about the five kingdom classification. So you know the syllabus about five kingdom classification and the features and classification of Monera, Protista and fungi. These are the major groups. About that we are learning. And the other two groups like kingdom Plantae and Animalia, we have a separate chapter for that. So there we will be learning that chapter. And here we are learning about the lichens, virus and viroids also. So this is the syllabus portion which we need to cover from this chapter. Okay. And while doing the quick review biological classification, we have learned that what is biological classification. There is artificial system of classification, the natural system of classification and phylogenetic system of classification, right? Then about the five kingdom classification we have learned Whitaker, R.H. Whitaker. He was the like who proposed this five kingdom classification. We can say very clearly that Whitaker, he proposed the this five kingdom classification. This is the most accepted system of classification. Okay, so which are the five kingdoms here? Kingdom Monera, Kingdom Protista, Kingdom Fungi, Kingdom Plantae, and Animalia. And in this chapter, in the second chapter, we are learning about Monera, Protista, and Fungi in detail. And I said already, Plantae and Animalia, we are learning it separately because that's a very vast kingdom. Both the kingdoms are very vast, so we need to learn that very clearly. And in the previous classes what and all we have learned, just I'm giving a very fast review of that. We have learned about kingdom Monera, and kingdom Monera what and all we have learned archaebacteria, then eubacteria. About archaebacteria and eubacteria we have learned in kingdom Monera. So why I'm saying this repeatedly in the main points of the previous class, because when you're getting a question, you should in your mind you should get within seconds, it should strike that from which portion it is coming. Okay, at least then you can get some idea about that question, right? From which chapter and which portion, which topic this question is, at least you should be able to identify that. Then in kingdom Monera you have learned about the structure, then some microorganisms which are not included in that also you have learned, like cyanobacteria, actinomycetes and mycoplasma. About that also I have taught. Then kingdom Protista. Next from kingdom Protista, here these protists, they are classified as plant-like protist, plant-like protist. And under the diatoms, dinoflagellates, euglenoids we have learned. Then fungus-like protist and animal-like protist. Third one is animal-like protist. Okay, with the example, we have learned all those things. The next comes the kingdom fungi, right? So in kingdom fungi, this is divided into four classes. Kingdom fungi, again, the subdivisions we are learning. We have to learn the subdivisions of each kingdom. So four classes are there. In which one? Kingdom fungi. Which are the four classes? Phycomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes, and deuteromycetes. Phycomycetes, ascomycetes, third one is basidiomycetes, and deuteromycetes. Okay, so this kingdom fungi that is divided into four classes, and based on what these four classes are there, based on the mycelium's morphology. This mycelium is this fungal body you can see here, right? This is the body of that fungus, right? So this fungal body that is divided into four classes based on the mycelium's morphology. So this classification is based on the mycelium mycelium's morphology, then spore formation, and fruiting bodies. Okay, so fungal kingdom fungi that is divided into four classes, and that classification is based on that mycelium's morphology, how it looks like. So based on that, the external appearance, then the spore formation, how it is forming spores based on that, and the fruiting body, how the fruiting body is. Based on all these things, it is divided into four classes. Which are the four classes? The four classes of fungi are phycomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes, and deuteromycetes. And you know that some fungi they are pathogenic and some are beneficial, right? Some fungi they are pathogenic fungi is also there, and some are useful. Useful fungal forms are there, and which are causing problems, that is also there. So here the four classes. So phycomycetes we said. See this kingdom fungi you have to learn thoroughly, because this is a very important portion of this chapter. You may get several questions from this, and it may be little bit confusing. The names will be little bit confusing. Okay, so the four classes, and what is the difference between each one, and with example. Better to make a table and study this. Okay, so members of phycomycetes, they are the lower fungi, lower or algae, algal fungi, and their mycelium that is aseptate. There is no septum. Okay, and they are cenocytic. That means multinucleate condition, and asexual reproduction is there. How it will reproduce asexually? Through zoospores or eplanospores, and sexual reproduction that is through isogamy or anisogamy. So rhizopus, mucor, and all the examples. Rhizopus, mucor, these are the examples. Okay, then ascomycetes. So ascomycetes also, they are called as sac fungi. So these names also you should remember. First one phycomycetes, algal fungi, and ascomycetes, sac fungi. And in this septate, mycelium is septate. Septas are there to separate, and asexual spores. They are conidia, and sexual spores are also there, like that is called as ascospores. So here examples you need to write: aspergillus and neurospora, these are coming under ascomycetes. So sometimes you may get two examples like aspergillus and neurospora, they are coming under phycomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes, and deuteromycetes. So without any confusion you should write that they are coming under, or they are the members of ascomycetes. Okay, next comes basidiomycetes. So here members of basidiomycetes, they are called as club fungi. Okay, club fungi, and their mycelium. See, it's like already in ascomycete that septa, it is there. See, from the lower one, it is evolving, and it is coming to the next level. So from ascomycetes onwards, you can see the septa or the separation, right? Here in phycomycetes, that is multinucleate or cynocytic condition, but in ascomycetes, septas are there to separate. It is there. And here the members of basidiomycetes, they are called as club fungi, and their mycelium, that is branched. You can see branched mycelium, and see one new feature is coming there, a branched mycelium you can see, and they have septa also. And here asexual reproduction, that is by fragmentation, because they have branches, right? They have several branches, so branches can break and they can make a new body, right? So the fragmentation, and vegetative cells, they'll fuse to form the dikaryotic structure. Okay, so here asexual reproduction, that is fragmentation. Okay, and the vegetative cells, they'll fuse together to form the dikaryotic structure, that is called as plasmogamy. So here examples are mushrooms. Mushrooms are coming under which one? Mushrooms and bracket fungi. They are coming under basidiomycetes. The common mushrooms, which the edible mushrooms, that are all coming under basidiomycetes. Okay. Then comes the fourth one, deuteromycetes. Okay, deuteromycetes, they are imperfect fungi. Imperfect, or we are calling as fungi imperfecti. So in them you can see the sexual forms. Sexual reproduction is absent. They are the fungal forms, but they are the imperfect fungi. Like in all other fungus, you can see some features here. It is not in the perfect form, so we can call them as fungi imperfecti, and they reproduce asexually by conidia. Asexual reproduction is there, that is by conidia. Okay, and the sexual forms here, sexual reproduction forms are absent. Okay, so trichoderma and alternaria, all these are the examples for deuteromycetes. And heterothalism, about heterothalism also we are learning here. So in fungi, the condition when different thalli, different thallus forms are existing within a single genus of fungus, that is called as heterothallus. That structure, the morphological structure, that is called as uh, thallus. So in that thallus, different forms are there in the same genus of fungus. Different thallus forms are existing within a genus, fungal genus, that is called as heterothallism. Hetero means different forms. So in fungi, the condition when different thalli exist within a single genus, that is called as heterothallism. Okay. So here heterothallism, we can say that that is the basis, or that from there onwards, the basis of the different sexes in plants, that is starting from that male and female, like different thallus forms are present, so that in fungus. So from fungi onwards in plant kingdom, you can see in plants and all, you can see that is the basis here, that starts different thallus forms for male and female forms. Okay, so in plant kingdom and all, you can see that easily male and female forms are there. So this is the starting kingdom of that separate conditions. That is the origin of that. Okay, then what and all the economic importance of fungi? So we know that antibiotic production, steroid, organic acid, then alcoholic beverages, cheese. So all these are the economical usage, or fungi for these many purposes they have been used. And fungi against some nematodes, they are using as the biocontrol agents. So fungi, they are used as biocontrol agents against some nematodes. So these are the points which you need to learn in kingdom fungi. First of all, the four classes, and based on what they have been classified. So which are the classes? Phycomyces, ascomyces, basidiomyces, and deuteromyces. Better to make a table of this and write the features, then whether asexual reproduction is there, sexual reproduction is there, then asexual forms, sexual forms, then another one, how is their structure and which and all the examples for that. So these points you need to learn. Then what is heterothallism? Then economic importance of fungi. Okay, then we are moving to the next kingdom, kingdom plantae. So here, just the basic ideas we are getting about kingdom plantae, because we have a separate chapter to learn about the plant kingdom and animal kingdom. Animal kingdom is a separate chapter and plant kingdom is also another chapter. So here you can learn the kingdom plantae, the basic things. Okay, kingdom plantae means, first which feature will come to your mind? First thing, plants means what? They are autotrophic, right? Plants are autotrophic, isn't it? They are synthesizing their own food, and they are non-motile. Plants cannot move, so they are non-motile and multicellular, right? Multicellular organisms. Which one? Plants. So plants are autotrophic and they are not able to move, they are non-motile and the multicellular organisms, right? And their motility. Why the motility is restricted? It is restricted due to the cellulosic cell wall. They have a cellulosic cell wall. So their motility, that is restricted due to the cellulosic cell wall. And here in plant kingdom itself, like in fungus, we have seen many classifications, right? Many classes. So as like in the same way here in the plant kingdom also you can see um, algae, then bryophytes, then pteridophytes, gymnosperms, one more, angiosperms, which are the most evolved ones, right? So here plant kingdom plantae include algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. So about all these algae, what are algae and what are the features, what are bryophytes, what are pteridophytes, and gymnosperms and angiosperms, we have to learn in detail in plant kingdom, another chapter. And here, just see these diagrams. Hope you might have seen all these type of plants, right? So all these are coming under different classes. So here algae or bryophyta, some are coming under algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Big trees you might have seen, and the like mosses, then ferns, everything you might have seen. So all these type of plants are coming under kingdom plantae. So kingdom plantae include algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Okay, and there we said it is non-motile, but here also one exception is coming, like some algal forms are there, some algal forms, not all, some algal forms, they are motile. Why? How it can move? With the help of they are motile, and how it is showing that motility? Due to the presence of flagella, because they have flagella. Example for that motile forms of algae, that is chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas, this is the motile form of algae which is having flagella. So with the help of flagella that can move. So some algal forms, normally plants, they are non-motile, but some algal forms can move, or they have that motility, and this is due to the presence of flagella. An example for such motile forms of algae, that is Chlamydomonas. Okay. Next is about kingdom Animalia. So this is the simple form which we are learning here, because we have to learn in detail. The basic features we are learning are the basic classes, which like again it is classified into algae, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperms and angiosperms. That much only we are learning here. In which one? In this biological classification chapter. Okay, we learn in detail. Next comes kingdom Animalia. See, these are different types of animals which you can see under the kingdom of Animalia. So here, kingdom Animalia, they are heterotrophic. Heterotrophic because they are depending on other organism for their food or for their nutrition, right? And they are motile forms. Okay, so they are motile forms, and here also you can see multicellular organisms, right? Multicellular organisms are present, and here see motility is restricted in plants due to their cellulosic cell wall, because cellulose is rigid, right? That cell wall is rigid. But here they have motility. Which one? Kingdom Animalia, they have motility. And why? Because they don't have cellulosic cell wall. No cell wall in this. No cellulosic cell wall. In which one? In animals, right? And their motility is that is attributed to various structures or uh, organs. Like different types of structures are there, or that is based on their type of organism. Like in different types of organisms, different organs are helping for the motility. So that starts from the flagella. Like some organisms are with the help of flagella it is moving, and some with legs. Right, in animals and human beings and all, with the help of legs it is moving. Some are moving with the help of flagella, right? So it is depending upon the type of organism. And organisms of this kingdom Animalia, they have some specific or definite growth pattern. Okay, specific growth pattern. So organisms are having specific growth pattern, and they have the sensory system. They have an elaborate sensory system and the neuromotor mechanism. Neuromotor mechanism. Because they are evolved organisms, right? Neuromotor mechanism. In which one? Not in all. Neuromotor mechanism is present in higher forms. Okay. Generally, when we are saying about the features, you can say neuromotor mechanism, but we need to specify that it is found only in the higher forms. Clear? So heterotrophic, and they are motile and multicellular, and there is no cellulosic cell wall. That's why they are able to move, or that is helping for the motility. And motile forms, their motility is depending upon the depending upon different structures, and it is based on the type of organism. Some are moving with the help of flagella, and some are with the help of legs. Okay, and in this animal kingdom, organisms which are belonging to animal kingdom, you can see specific growth pattern in them, and there is a very good or elaborate sensory system is there, and neuromotor mechanism is present in higher forms of this animal kingdom. Clear? So that's about the animal kingdom. And Now we have learned about all the five kingdoms, right? So here at the end of this chapter, at the end of this discussion, we will compare all the different characteristics of kingdoms of organisms. So each kingdom, what and all characters it is showing. That means kingdom Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. What and all the characters it is showing. That we need to learn. So here also I'll suggest you to make a clear table, at least if you want to do a quicker revision than this, just look at that table. You can write the features, cell type, then complexity of body, then in which tissue, what kind of tissue system it is having, then what is the role, then cell wall, chloroplast. Then you can come to the micro features like cell wall, chloroplast, nucleus, and nutrition, then motility, reproduction. Main features you can note down. And in kingdom Monera, how it is, how all these features you can see. In kingdom Protista, how these features are, whether it is there or not. Then kingdom Fungi, kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia. Better to make a table like this. Okay, just to get a comparative study. And you, after reading that, you will come to know how the organisms are evolving. Clear? So that we will discuss at the end of this. And now we are moving to, see, before coming to virus, one more thing I want to tell that in our textbook, see, five kingdom classification we have learned, right? So there is a six kingdom classification which was proposed by Carl Woos. Okay, six kingdom classification. This also just for namesake. We need to learn who proposed this. But we know that five kingdom classification, that is the most accepted one, five kingdom classification. So the six kingdom classification was proposed by Carl Woos. Just for the additional knowledge, you need to note down this also. Carl Woos. Okay, and in which year? 1990, very recent one. Okay, so in this classification, kingdom Monera, see, five kingdom classification: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. That is a five kingdom classification, and that is the most accepted one. Here in the six kingdom classification, Monera, kingdom Monera is, that is further divided into archaebacteria and eubacteria. We have learned what is archaebacteria and what is eubacteria, right? So that is coming under kingdom Monera. So here, which is proposed by the six kingdom classification, which is proposed by Carl Woos in 1990, he made further classification. Kingdom Monera is further divided into what? Archaebacteria and eubacteria. So instead of kingdom Monera, there are archaebacteria, eubacteria, then comes kingdom Protista, fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Okay, so archaebacteria, eubacteria, then the remaining kingdoms like Protista, fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Okay, so that is the six kingdom classification. This is the first one, this is the second one, then third one is Protista, third one, then fungi, fourth one, and Plantae, fifth one, Animalia, sixth one. So these are the five kingdoms according to the six kingdom classification which was proposed by Carl Woos. Okay, so there the kingdom Monera is divided into two, archaebacteria and eubacteria. Okay, that's a change. Remaining and all same only. And one more classification, or one more, the seventh kingdom classification is there. Okay, just to remember this, you need to note down all this. For the, again, some classifications came, but the five kingdom classification was the most accepted one. Okay, seven kingdom classification also came. Seven kingdom classification, this was proposed by Rose. Okay, and this is most recent one, 2002 and 2005. Okay, so according to the seventh kingdom classification, the seven kingdoms are, again, micro level divisions they did, that is Protonyma, this is Archaebacteria. Okay, and the second one is Monera, which is Eubacteria. Okay, Protonyma, then Monera, and Monera they have included only Eubacteria types. Then comes Protista. Then Myxomycophyta. Okay, so this Myxomycophyta means slime moths. Then fifth one is fungi. Sixth one plantae. Seventh one is animalia. See here in the five kingdom classification itself, we have mentioned about all these things, but they have made it in the seven kingdom classification. Rose, he tried to make it as a separate kingdom. Okay, so Protonyma, in that they included only archaebacterial forms. Then Monera means that is only eubacteria, right? And Protista, that is a separate kingdom, and the Myxomycophyta, slim modes, they included as a separate kingdom, which is mentioned as Myxomycophyta. Okay, then fungi, plantae, and animalia. These are the seven kingdoms or seven kingdom classification which was proposed by Rose, and it is the recent proposal like 2002 and 2005. In that period, they did this. So these also you should remember. Okay. Now we need to learn about viruses, viroids, and lichens. See, like different classifications we have learned, right? So apart from those organisms which we have classified under different classification systems, there are some other organisms which are not included in this classification system. Have you checked anywhere in this classification system which I have explained till now? I never mentioned about virus, right? Have you noticed that? So here you can see, apart from the organisms which we have studied under all these five kingdoms, there are some more organisms which are not coming under any of this classification. Okay, so here this is not coming under five kingdom classification, but after that five kingdom classification, and there are some more organism other than this. So apart from the five kingdom classification, some more organisms are there. So here that organisms also we need to mention along with the five kingdom classification. Okay, And you can see their unique features also. So first we will tell about viruses. So that makes the complete classification of organism. So whenever you're completing the five kingdom classification, next you should mention the virus, viroids, and lichens also. Okay, that's why I'm writing like this: five kingdom classification plus virus. Then next, five kingdom classification, virus plus viroids, then comes plus lichens. So all these, when you're mentioning that classification, complete biological classification will get over. Clear? Viruses, actually these viruses are, nowadays this is very common term for us, right? Everywhere, viral fever and other infection, viral infection, like that, you are hearing this every day, almost every day it will come, right? This term virus. So this viruses were discovered by D. Ivanovsky in 1892. This discovery happened, and this term, the term this virus, this was first coined by Pasteur. Term coined by Pasteur. Okay, so we know that these viruses, they are microscopic. We need to specifically say that they are ultra microscopic. Okay, viruses are ultra microscopic structures, right? They are very microscopic or minute structures, and there is no cell. They are non-cellular. Now you will think that if it is non-cellular, why, how can we classify, how can we consider them as an organism, right? So then they are non-cellular, and they have infectious nature or highly infectious agents. They are the infectious, their nature is infectious nature, and they are highly infectious agents. And their this nature, why they are keeping that infectious nature? Because when they are entering inside a living host, then only it can multiply. Until and unless, it won't make any disturbance for you. Okay, it will become inert until it is entering into a living organism. When it is entering into a living organism or living cell, it will become active, then it will multiply. Okay, so until entering into a living cell or living organism, it won't create any problem, it won't cause any problem. And whenever it is entering inside a living cell, it will become active, and that will multiply inside the living host. So outside host body, I said outside that host body, they are inert particles. So here we can say viruses are obligate parasites. They are obligate parasites, and they are inert outside the living cell. So here this nature, from this nature, what we can say, they are like we can call them as the intermediate between non-living and living entities, right? We can't say that whether they are living or non-living. It is an intermediate stage. It is in an inert condition whenever it is not entering into a living cell. But as soon as enters into a cell, it will become active, and it will act like a living organism, right? So it is a in between or intermediate between non-living and living cell. So the viral structure, here you can see different types of viruses, right? Ebola virus, hepatitis B, HIV, adenovirus, influenza, rabies virus, bacteriophage, papilloma virus, rotavirus, herpes virus. All these viruses you can see different structures of that, right? So here are the structures. They have a nucleic acid core, right? all viruses, they have a nucleic acid core, or they have a genetic material. Genetic material is present, right? They have a nucleic acid core, or they have the genetic material, and covering that they have a protein coat. They have a protein coating on that, which is called as capsid. Okay, so that is a capsid. And these viruses that may be enveloped, or we can say that they may have an outer coat or non-enveloped forms, like without that coat also they have, or naked viruses are also there. Okay, they may have a coat or they may not have. With coat or without coat forms are there. And this capsid, we said that protein coat, this capsid, that is the protective outer covering. Okay, so this covering, this protective outer covering that around the genetic material, it is having small subunits. Okay, the subunits, that is called as capsomeres. Small subunits which are called as capsomeres, and these are arranged in the helical or polyhedral geometric forms. Helical forms or polyhedral geometric forms. Which one? That protein covering, and the subunits of that protein covering or the capsid, that is called as capsomeres, and these are arranged in the helical forms or in the polyhedral geometric forms. Okay, and we said there is a nucleic acid material or the genetic material. So this nucleic acid, that is in the form of nucleoid. Okay, nucleoid, and that will combine with the metabolic machinery of the host cell, and that's how it is synthesizing its own components. So this will combine with the genetic material of the host cell, and that's how it started. It will start the multiplication, and that will do its own work. So along with that genetic material, this will combine. Okay, that's how viruses are working. So unless entering into a host cell or a living cell, it cannot work. So after entering their genetic material or this nucleic acid, that is getting combined, that is starting its process or work. Okay. And these viruses, we need to mention one important point, like about viruses. These viruses have two cycles of viral reproduction. Two cycles of viral reproduction. Which are the two cycles of viral reproduction? One is lytic cycle, and second one is lysogenic cycle. Lytic cycle and lysogenic cycle. And we know that these viruses, they can cause different diseases like influenza. Now we can say a new disease, COVID, right? Then influenza, and then polio, measles, chickenpox, hepatitis, AIDS, SARS. So all these are caused by viruses. So these are the animal diseases, right? So in plants also they are causing some diseases, which are the yellowing and vein clearing mosaic diseases. So then the curling of leaf and rolling of leaf, all these are caused by viruses. Okay, so in plants and animals, in both they are causing diseases. In animals, they are causing dangerous diseases like HIV, hepatitis, then influenza, rabies, then AIDS, then the polio, measles, chickenpox, and COVID. All these are caused by viruses. Okay, so these are the important points about viruses. Viruses, that is a very important point in this chapter. You have to note down, and their life cycle. So what and all we said? Viruses that is discovered by D. Ivanovsky in 1892, and the term that is coined by discovery and this term both are done by different scientists. You have to note down that the term virus that was first coined by Pasteur and the discovery is by D. Ivanovsky. Clear? So they are very minute or microscopic structures. They are non-cellular and they are infectious, and they can multiply or they can live uh, intracellularly. Okay, then only it will become uh, a living, or whenever it is entering inside a host cell, that time only it can work. Okay, so outside the host body, they are um, non-living particles or inert particles. So we can say they are obligate parasites. They are also obligate parasites means after entering to host body only they can work. Okay, and they are the intermediate condition between the living and non-living entities, right? Only entering, whenever it's outside the host cell, it is in a non-living condition, right? Whenever it is entering to a host cell, it will start the work, right? And viral structure, about viral structure, we said they have nucleic acid core, a core particle nucleic acid, and a protein covering which is called as, or protein coat which is called as capsid. And this capsid is made up of subunits which is called as capsomeres, and they, and this viruses, this capsid, that covering may be there or may not be there, and naked viruses will be there. That means just the genetic material will be there, the nucleic acid part. And this nucleic acid, that is in the form of nucleoid. So when it is entering inside the host cell, it will combine with the metabolic machinery of host cell, and that will synthesize its own components. Okay, and their reproduction cycle, they have two cycles, lytic cycle and lysogenic cycle, and they cause many diseases, very serious diseases in plants and animals. Okay, so that's all about viruses. And in the next part, we will be learning about viroids and lichens. Not only that, we have to discuss in detail the different characteristics of kingdom of organisms. So there we'll try to make a table with characters, and each about each kingdom, just a quick review will make, and that table you must study, so it will be helpful for you to get a clear picture about five kingdom classification, which is the most accepted one. Along with that, you should note down the six kingdom classification and seven kingdom also, but the most accepted one is the five kingdom classification. And what is the change, where they have made a change in the sixth and seventh kingdom classification, that also you need to note down. Okay, thank you.